I think class ended yesterday before we could talk this chapter 14, tap 3 through. So here, part A, assuming each citizen voted his or her private interest, would a referendum to build a museum and raise each citizen's annual taxes by $100 pass? And here, assuming again the rational model, we see that for 3 of the 5, the benefits are indeed greater than the cost. So 3-2, the referendum passes. And then now a citizen says, hey, you know, Dallas and Eloise didn't support the referendum and they didn't want it, and why should they be forced to buy it? You know, let's let just the people that value the pool pay for it. Well, so, and we'll let a private company, you know, this is the privatization, let a private company build it, and everybody that wants in can pay, and those that want out don't have to pay. And, you know, sounds fair enough, but when you actually go about doing this, if the private company were allowed to set a single fee, would any company offer to build a museum? And we see, at first you might think, oh, okay, the 3 that are interested in it could pay for it. But remember, it costs $500 per year, and 500 divided by 3 is 133. So Carlina's out. Well, then, okay, Anita and Brandon could be in, but it would cost $250 a year with just 2. And we quickly see that no, there is no subset willing to split cost evenly. Now, I guess let me go to a new screen and do this part C. But before I switch the screens, I'm going to have to lose this information. So make sure you have that handy. Maybe write it down in your notes. Now, this next system is somewhat interesting. And here we're going to let the private company charge different prices to different people. And if they can make it work, they can build the museum. And so here we see that if we had a perfect price discriminating monopolist, perfectly price discriminating monopolist, we'd see that each citizen could pay their reservation price for the museum, and the firm would get revenues of 660. I just added up those 5 willingnesses to pay: 200 plus 170 plus 120 plus 90 plus 80, and then their costs, of course, would just be 500. So they certainly are motivated to build, and indeed they're netting 160 per year, and that, when we get down to the highest possible fee that a company would be willing to provide this museum, we'd answer 160 per year. Now, I went on just as to review how much, what would be the lump sum value if someone just had to buy the city off and for the right to offer that museum. If there were a competitive auction, we should be able to get the amount X such that the interest rate times X would equal 160 a year. And this should be review, but remember that if the right to build were priced any lower than that, it would present the opportunity to earn more than a 5% rate of return, and firms would be bidding up the price. If the price were priced higher than that, firms would say, hey, well, I can get 5% by putting my money in, you know, diversified mutual funds, whatever. And so, nobody would touch it, the price would fall. Anyway, we can solve this equation easily enough. X is equal to 160 divided by 0.05, and that's the same as saying 20 times 160. That turns out to be $3,200 So there it is.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.